5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. In this video we want to present about Newton. I'm NORSYAFIQAH binti JASMIN. My metric number is 270107. We'll talk about the introduction of Newton. Newton's law of motion. Three statements describing the relations between the forces acting on a body and the motion of the body. First formulated by English physics and mathematician Isaac Newton, which are the foundation of classical mechanics. Why are the Newton's law of motion is important? Newton's law of motion are important because they are the foundation of classical mechanics, one of the main branches of physics. Mechanics is the study of how objects move or do not move when forces act upon them. Now we will move to the next explanation and example of each Newton.
Assalamualaikum. My name is SHAYZZATUL binti ABDULLAH. My number metric is 269944. So I would like to present the first Newton law. The Newton's first law is also called the law of inertia. State that an object as at rest remains at rest, and an object that is moving will continue to move straight and with constant velocity if and only if there is no net force acting on that object. So the Newton's first law describes objects that are in two different situations, which is objects that are stationary and objects that are moving straight at a constant speed. Newton's observed that objects in both situations will only change their speed if net force is applied to them. An object which is undergoing a net force of zero is said to be at a mechanical equilibrium, and Newton's first law suggests two different types of mechanical equilibrium: an object which has net force of zero and which is not moving is at mechanical equilibrium. But an object that is moving in a straight line and with constant velocity is also at a mechanical equilibrium. So as we can see in the examples, the Newton's first law of motion is often stated as an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. That's all for me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AZANA binti ABDULLAH. My metric number is 270090. Today, I want to talk about the Newton's second law. Newton's second law is a quantitative description of the change that a force can produce on the motion of a body. It states that the time rate of change of the momentum of a body is equal in both magnitude and direction to the force imposed on it. The momentum of a body is equal to the product of its mass and its velocity. Momentum like velocity is a vector quantity having both magnitude and direction. A force applied to a body can change the magnitude of the momentum or its direction or both. Newton's second law is one of the most important in all of physics. As seen in the video, if the force acting on an object increase, then the acceleration of the object also increase. Next, if the mass of the object increase, then the acceleration of the object will also increase. For a body whose mass m is constant, it can be written in the form F which ma, where F and A are both vector quantities. If a body has a net force acting on it, it is accelerated in accordance with the equation. Conversely, if a body is not accelerated, there is no net force acting on it. In conclusion, Newton's second law provides the explanation for the behaviors of the objects upon which the force do not balance. The law states that unbalanced force cause object to accelerate with an acceleration that is directly proportional to the new force and inversely proportional to the mass.
My name is REHA binti MISNGAT. My number metric is 270110. I will present about Newton's third law. What is Newton's third law? When a force action give an object, then the object will give a force reaction of equal magnitude and in the opposite direction to the force given. Thus, Newton's law is also called the law of action-reaction. Two styles are action-reaction style if they both are the same size, opposite direction, and occur on two objects or objects that interact with each other. When a ball is thrown, the ball must use the floor as a place to bounce at the ball out. When the ball is bounced to the floor, the ball gives action to the floor and the floor gives a reaction force so that the ball bounce back up. The magnitude of the force on the first object equals the magnitude of the force on the second. The direction of in the force on the first object is opposite to the direction of the force on the second object. Force always come in pairs, equal and opposite action-reaction force pairs.
Okay, the conclusion. Newton's law was very useful in nowadays because can use three types of law to prevent any accidents in now generation. First law states that a force must be applied to an object in order to change its velocity. Second law is acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it and it inversely proportional to its mass. Third law is whenever we push on something, it pushes back with equal force in the opposite direction.